What's going on there, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a cast of a DoD clan game uploaded by Jollyman, who streams on Twitch on the regular. I got a link both to the clan Discord and to Jollyman's Twitch down in the description. And yeah, this is going to be the first game I cast proper with the new patch. And if you haven't seen the patch, it's massive. There's lots of balance changes, lots of good ones. And we're going to be seeing Ra being played by Jollyman himself versus a friend of his, I believe, going by the name Inib in-game. And it's going to be Odin versus Ra. And now both the Norse and Egypt have been affected by the patch. Norse in less significant ways. Notably, the ravens respawn slightly faster for Odin. Other than that, most of the changes, I think they got more expensive herdmen, which shouldn't be too relevant in the Egypt matchup, at least until later game. What other? Yeah, they changed a few things, like some myth text, minor god stuff. But for Egypt, one of the bigger changes we saw. Oh, I'm noticing. I need to change. Sorry, apologies. Let me go ahead and go. See, it's set fine, but for some reason you've got to like re-enable it. That should be better now. Cool. Yes. So with Egypt, okay. So interesting. All right, I've got some notes already. Yes, so with Egypt, one of the more significant things is that they made slingers cheaper, as well as increasing the power of axemen and spearmen generally. Axemen got their HP increased, spearmen got their HP and damage increased, and I can't remember off the top of my head if slingers also got a damage increase. I think they got their hack armor reduced so that they're easier to kill in melee, but they're more resistant at range. I think something along those lines. Also, one of the changes in the patch was the map pool, and that's why we are seeing... oh, well, you can't see it here, but this is Valley of the Kings is the name of the map. And I didn't know too much about it, but as we can see here, it seems to be that there is a big central kind of rock shape in the center of the map that separates each side. You can see here, we can even see both bases, more or less, on the one screen. So, quite a small map. But there is expansions all around. And as the temple goes up, at a good time here for Inib. I wish I could remember what their name was out in the Discord. Doesn't matter. So let's have a look at some relics. We got the Thunder Cloud Shawl to increase pierce armor for human soldier units. That sounds quite good. We've got the Staff of Dionysus for villager regeneration. I think that's good. I'm not actually 100% on that. I'm assuming it's good. Shadong's Ochre Whip. Researching plow irrigation and flood control technologies provide an additional 5% bonus to food gather rate for farms. Okay. So just more food from farms. That sounds pretty good. Increase the attack of counter infantry units. Okay. And finally, building hit points. Now, I guess what we can see instantly is that there seems to be quite a lot of relics on this map. And we missed this one as well. Group of monkeys. Ah, yes, the skulls of Ceracopus? Cercopus? Man, these Greek words, man, I'm telling you. I'm assuming that's a Greek word. So there's 6 relics on the map. That seems like a lot for a map of this size. I feel like 6 is probably close to the average. And we can see here, we've gone up with Tar. And of course we do, because Tar is going to be much more barracks focused, and with all the buffs to the barrack units, I'd be surprised if Ra wasn't going for some of that. We've also yeah, so there's been no priest upgrade just yet. And yeah, so there's an argument in Ra builds as to whether or not you want the pharaoh to pray at the monument or specifically at like the mining camp, depending on what kind of build you're going for. And I think I tend to lean towards a generalist, sort of like praying at the monument to buff everything, because you get the villager speed on the town center, you get the bonus food and gold. Yeah, and I guess another argument, of course, is just to pray for food, so you can get to age up quicker. But he's going, yeah, again, for everything, and I think that makes sense when you're producing units. And what is he producing? He's producing spearmen, he's producing axemen, all the new strong units. And given how Norse tend to be an infantry-focused army, just by the sheer nature that they need infantry units to build buildings, this should be quite strong. And here comes the aggression. Norse, of course, the Odin player went up with Freyr, so it's going to be more of a cavalry-aimed minor god. But here come the throwing axemen, rallied a little bit too far forward as the Hursa get involved. This is going to work out very much in Egyptians' favour. Just the axemen, so much more efficient at trading than Hursa in melee. And here comes the Valkyrie in, but there is a choice spearman that I think has been killed. Yeah, so the axemen are going to retreat as the raiding cav come out, and I can imagine we are going to see more spearmen coming from Egypt. Now, we don't see any upgrades just yet. We do see the Wadjet. Let's have a quick look at the what the scouting has been from both players. Okay, so both players have a pretty good idea of the spread on the map in terms of expansions and resources. And speaking of which, here comes Egypt with a fast second TC behind an aggressive push. I think that's nice, although you must be feeling nervous as Ra here, because raiding cavalry are going to make a 2 TC life very difficult. But the relics have started to be picked up by Egypt, I believe. The hearses have been cleared out. And I don't think we've seen Great Hunt be used a single time, and a part of the reason why that is because there isn't a lot of hunt on this map. There is some, like right here, but this is a really dangerous hunt to be going for, and not without setup. So what else do we see? We got some rhinos up here that could be doubled, and yeah, there's actually a ton of hunt up here. If this is all considered the one hunt, like, I don't think doubling it increases the value, like, just based on the number of pigs. So, like, he's going to get the same amount of food from this either way, kind of thing. Alright, so far so good for the Ra player. He's got 2 town center, while the Odin player builds walls. Great Hall going forward. We don't see any raids just yet. Oh, yes, here we are. So the, just forest fire, great call. So the building here tried to lock him out from moving through, but unfortunately didn't go up in time. The villager just unfortunately didn't quite get there in time. And the forest fire as well to sort of discourage a fight around that place. I feel like if he had committed to fighting here around the forest fire, like in the middle of it, when he got caught, he would have lost all these units. But the damage all of these units would have taken, it would have been an even trade, and that could possibly be worthwhile. I'd need to do the math, but how much, what is this? How many? It's 5, 6 raiding cav, plus a Valkyrie, and that would have been, yeah, like, quite a lot. I think it probably, yeah, with the Wadjet, I mean, you wouldn't have killed the Wadjet, but you would have killed all the human soldiers. And that's probably cost efficient, that trade, under the forest fire. Anyway, a lot of throwing axemen out now. These spearmen are a little too out of position as the raiding cav go deep onto these food villages. Oh man, yes, okay, good. These could have been moving forward just that little bit sooner to cover the raiding cavalry as they killed villagers, but unfortunate. We're going to get some kills now, perhaps. Yeah, it's hard to get everything moving in unison, of course, so when I give that criticism, it's with the understanding that, you know, it's there's so much going on at once for these players, so it's not really that much of a criticism. But we can see these buildings are a little scorched after... I feel like this scorched effect is new, this kind of blackened effect. I don't remember buildings that had been burnt look like this before. But yeah, a little bit of damage, as you can see. So what is that? Yeah, 400 damage from the forest fire on these buildings. That's quite a lot. Just to give a perspective on the sort of damage we could have expected from on the military units way back when. So yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of infantry for Egypt, and you never really see an infantry-centric build from Egypt. So it's kind of interesting. The Wadjet, of course, goes in nicely with the poison. And we do have a whole bunch of gatherers trying to get this rhino building walls. They're so close to each other. It's such a small map. And Yeah, the Egypt player is struggling. There's just not a high enough saturation of spears. We do see upgrades coming in now. It seems like he is going to be going for silver bullets. Oh, but the throwing axeman getting picked off steadily, but it looks like, oh yeah, he's pulling some units through. There's like the occasional berserker thrown into the mix there, and it's a win for Odin, as the infantry just crumbles under the North's pressure. A quick look at upgrades. Yeah, so it's just this relic for Egypt. Yeah, there's just bronze weapons so far. A whole bunch of idle villages around this gold. An unfortunate time to run out. There is a gold mine at the back of the base for Egypt. As the massive, yeah, the raiding cavalry just forming such a good front line for the throwing axemen in this matchup, despite the spears. Perhaps too many axemen were built for Egypt. And now we're pressuring this this town center. We're still only on one town center for Odin, so it's quite a lot of military pressure coming out. Of course, we do see the villager difference has gotten significant though in the meantime for Egypt. So Ra definitely not in a bad spot. We can see, yeah, that gold has become a problem for Egypt currently. Needs to find space to start mining gold safely. And this town center, while under siege, definitely holding forth, you know, not able to be pushed too badly. And I can't believe that these monkeys are being left on the table here. Just one hearser to walk over here, pick it up, walk like 2 steps, throw it in there, and then you've got like, I think the value of the monkeys isn't in the damage, it's in the damage soak, you know. It's just extra units that you can throw around the map doing stuff. And if they're in a pile with your major military, ooh, what's this rain coming in with a bit of a farm boom, as Ra is no doubt looking to go to the next age. Probably. How many farms is this? 17 farms, quite a lot, with the Pharaoh on the monument to the villages. I would like to see more monuments being built at this point, like once we click up to age 3. I think that for Egypt, it's a lot of food investment to get monuments, you know, like it starts small and gets more expensive, of course. Oh yes, and finally the monkeys has been claimed. But, you know, getting that favor generation ticking, myth units are so strong. You know, I mean, Valkyrie, of course, they've got that ×3 multiplier versus myth units now. Oh, look at this massive spearman. Unfortunate, he's trying to run out to save this damage from being too high, but he's also got massive units up here. He should have turned a little bit sooner with the spears, unfortunately getting caught out as the Valkyrie ride in, trying to get on top of those ranged units and the Wadgets, as the spears, this one berserker holds the line against hundreds of spears in the gap. But the Valkyrie and the raiding cav are being persistent, as spears get sent in from the barracks being rallied at the front here. So let's have a quick look. 3 barracks right here at the front town center, 2 barracks at the back, making 5 total. Is there any more? None yet. Yeah, just, I love how he's built these barracks right up against the town center to prevent the enemy from getting, like, surrounding the town center to smash it down. Because buildings in this game, particularly town centers, they're quite vulnerable to damage early on. They're quite easy to take down. They're not as tanky as you might think, and this is the same for fortresses, you know, big doll strongholds, castles, you know, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, big farm boom, and he's got the food, but no gold for an age 3 yet, as he spends money on upgrades, which, well, you should. Wait, is this copper weapons? I thought he already had copper weapons. Medium spearmen. Ah, they look so similar. That's my fault. But he's definitely got the infantry mass, you know, the economy's there. Look at how many units he's got. In fact, we can see it's he's at 190 max popped as far as housing is concerned, and I'm not sure. Is that a house? Like, he's got 2 town centers. Has he built all the houses he can? It looks like he has. So he's going to be capped on villages at this right now. This is essentially a max population army. for the Egyptian player, and oh man, it's so tense. They're so close. Look at how close these front lines are. This is an absolute no man's land right here, this highlighted box, and it's quite a nutritious battle. But look at the forces for both armies. No one's fucking around. Alright, it's time to antagonize, as here comes the Odin army, full of upgraded horsemen and throwing axemen. As yeah, but we should wait. We shouldn't fight straight away because we're just about to get age 3. We're getting upgrades for the spearmen to have higher pierce armor, which is going to do work against the throwing axemen. Although, now that I think about it, throwing axemen do hack damage, don't they? They do. Yeah. So this upgrade potentially a waste of favor. It's interesting to consider, but these medium slingers, they've got the electrum bullets, so they're dealing divine damage. Medium slingers, copper armor. You know, there's good upgrades here across the board. Let's have a quick look at the other side. We see copper armor, medium infantry, thundercloud, shawl. And of course, the slingers do indeed deal pierce damage as well as a little divine. Pharaohs as well, dealing pierce damage. So, pierce armor going to go a lot further for the Norse player. So, both players at age 3 now, up with Skadi, up with Sobek. And the clash. Here comes the cavalry round the sides onto... Oh! And freezing the army in a questionable move as the army dives in. The Hetsuchos here just going to be lasering down things as best it can. We lose a single raiding cavalry as the army goes deep and into the back. The throwing axemen, meanwhile, are going to step forward to try to take down the town center. 28 seconds on this freeze as the whole army sits there, not able to do anything. A third town center has been taken by the Egyptian players, so it's going to be putting up warning signs to some degree for NED. Still on that one town center grind. But it seems to be paying off as one town center goes down. A lot of military production here, but the max pop has been reduced somewhat. And here comes the army. Spearmen being moved to the front, spearmen over here to the side, the slingers in the center, trying to stay away from the Valkyrie who are diving around the back, spearmen on the Valkyrie now. It's messy, it looks like this is going to be a blue blob victory. But it's far from over for Egypt. Ra player still maintaining a significant villager lead. So all of these victories are valuable for Odin, but at the same time, he has to win these fights because it's the only way he stays in the game. So all it takes is one bad fight for Odin to be put on the back foot significantly, and you can see Migdal strongholds going up to secure gold in other places. We got the Rock having a little scout about. We've got some cheeky gatherers up in the corner stealing some Egyptian gold in the far top north corner of the map. And the Norse army just trying to clear out space, trying to take this location. It helps secure these 2 gold nodes here that will eventually need to be tapped as the dwarfs, the mighty dwarf numbers, march forward. I'm trying to keep everything in view here, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Okay, so we've seen, do we see this, what is it called? Slings of the Sun? Is that Sobek? Is that a Sobek tech? Where am I looking? Not that I can see. I think I've got it twisted. Let me have a quick look. So that we can learn together. Yes, it would have been, Slings of the Sun is Sekhmet as opposed to Sobek. And given the situation, I think Slings of the Sun would have done so much work here. Not to mention the Scarab Beetles, I think, would have served as a great way to, tank damage, but also explode, dealing that area damage to cavalry and things like that. I know it's not technically anti-cavalry, but it really does help. because I believe it's divine damage. Anyway, here's another attack as the spearmen try to form a circle. You can see the slingers in the center just trying to keep everything away. Here come the scarabs, I mean not scarabs, the locusts as they DPS down the cavalry. There's just enough Egyptian units to hold forth here as the frost strikes come in. There's 4 of them and they're freezing up a storm. I believe they deal splash damage. Oh man, it's so close. The Egyptian line's just holding. As more raiding cavalry reach the front, but now we see a switch to camel riders, which of course do have a bonus versus cavalry. Wow. And as I can say, it only takes one bad fight for the Odin player to be on the back foot, and knowing it, Innie B taps out. Victory for Jollyman. Now, the switch to camel riders, you know, makes a lot of sense against the composition. You know, obviously they've got the bonus versus cavalry, they've got the bonus versus ranged, and that's his comp, is cavalry and ranged, right? But I feel like I think the major problem here from the Odin player was just stubbornly not going for a second town center for as long as they did. There's a couple of reasons. Obviously, there's the villager count difference, right? He kept pace for a long time. You know, he hit age 3 at the same time as the Ra player, right? But where he lost out, I think, was just the population cap to a degree. Like, imagine if he had another town center's worth of population in this fight. Maybe it could have gone a little differently. But yeah, obviously super well played by Jollyman. Held the line always just enough until he atrociously wore down the Odin player. We can have a look at the timeline real quick. So yeah, you can see that like the gap happened at the 7-minute mark in a 20-minute game, and it only widened. And if we look at the military, is this the right one? Resource value maybe is a good way to look at it. Pretty even. So it's the 7-minute mark where the villager count starts to take off for Jollyman. And of course the military is going to take off instead for Odin as he spends his money in military. And you can see it's tough for the Egyptian player for this period of time. So what are we looking at? From the like 8-minute mark all the way to the, let's call it 13-minute mark. You know, this is the period of time where the Odin player has the most strength when you look at it. Just like, because no doubt the Odin player was spending all their resources, you know, trying to get an edge against Egypt. And this is the window he has before the 2 town center play really kicks in. And then from here on out, it was pretty much an even keel until the very end. You can see, just even with this massive victory from the Odin player, look at how quickly the Ra player built back up, you know? So it's really, this is the window. You know, the 8-minute to 13-minute mark, 5 minutes. The minute you commit to the one base aggression, you got 5 minutes. That's how I'm interpreting this. Let's have a quick look at all resources collected. Yeah, so... And you can see it's pretty even from 8-minute, and then this is where it really starts to shine, you know, when the resources starts to really accelerate beyond the one town center. So again, great play from both players. It's a weird map. So close to each other, but no central line of attack, which makes it easier to focus on defending one flank or another. So I think, yeah, that's all she wrote. That's it for my first cast of the new patch, and I have to say, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Egypt so far. Alright, that's all from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.